live market analysis using supply and demand. Thank you, Chris. And as usual, I'm clicking on the wrong thing, before we begin, okay, here's a picture of me giving a similar presentation at the New York Traders Expo. It was a whole room of people. It was packed and there was standing room at the back. And more recently I was invited to speak in China at the Bogo Investment Forum, and I spoke with finance ministers and various other people in finance, other traders. Quick disclaimer, just bear in mind all comments we make here are for educational purposes only, and if I mention any trading ideas, again, trade at your own risk. And everyone knows there's a high degree of risk involved in all types of trading, and especially high risk if you don't know what you're doing. So it does pay to pay attention of what I'm going to share with you so you can actually start to approach the market in a more professional manner. So a little bit about me for those of you who are here for the first time. I've been trading professionally for many years, for probably 16 years or 17 years. A little bit about TradeSmart, you can read that. TradeSmart's a trading education business, and we focus on teaching you how to read the market professionally and how to run a successful trading business, including how to develop your own trading plan and strategies which fit your personality and lifestyle. I started my professional career straight out of university working for Credit Suisse in both London and New York, and then I moved to a number of prop firms, and now I work for myself. So here's our agenda. I'm going to switch this off and we're going to focus. So we're going to ask the question, why am I always wrong? We're going to jump into professional chart reading, and you won't find this in any book. This is based on my years of experience of watching charts within the framework that I'm going to teach you. We're going to learn a bit about supply and demand and why that is so important to the decision-making process. And then we're going to jump into the live markets, and we're going to look primarily at Forex, maybe some stocks, futures, Bitcoin futures, and we'll look at some commodities as well, whatever we have time for. And then I'll open up to audience questions and answers. And right at the end, I will make an offer for you to take the next step if you want to take the next step and learn how we do what we do. Okay, so I'm going to mention, and Jane's here, I'm going to mention Jane later on, but just know, Jane just finished a 6-session training and 3 days of live trading in front of a live audience as part of a training program. She started with me 4 years ago, and now she's teaching others how to trade successfully after having mastered it herself. It took her, after going through the training that I'm going to share with you at the end, 3 months to master it. Now, it's more the exception than the rule, but if you put the work in that's necessary, you can master the basics in about 3 months. So she went from nothing to consistent profits in 3 months. 4 years later, she's been consistently profitable. We just did 3 days of live trading and, trading the open of the NASDAQ futures. Every day, a winning trade, not one losing trade, 100% batting average, 3 for 3. Okay, that's over 3 days, yeah? So she started out her trading career on the right track here by learning how to read the market professionally, by learning what I'm going to share with you partly in this presentation. And this is why it's so important to focus on what I'm going to share with you, because this has changed people's lives. If you want to succeed as a trader, and you're looking at charts, you need to know this. And it will save you a lot of time and a lot of effort. I put in, over 16, close to 17 years of looking at the markets every single day. And what I'm going to share with you is based on those years of experience, but within a framework that I developed many years ago. And there's nothing new about it. It's everything that's very simple to understand, but how to put it together is the skill. And again, perfect practice makes perfect. So if you practice the wrong way, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to go very far. You have to practice the right way, and that's another thing that you need to learn how to do. Before we go into any more details here, what I want to do is share. I was on a presentation a number of days ago, and the person presenting mentioned a quote by Gandhi, and it struck me so deeply that I want to share it with you. And I keep mentioning this quote again and again because I think it's such a beautiful quote for what we're doing in life and can help you kind of get your life started, or the year started, or get your life back on track and get you really focused on what's important in life. So Gandhi has a quote, and again, I'm paraphrasing, it's not the exact words. Learn like you are going to live forever. Live like you are going to die tomorrow. I'm going to repeat that again. It's so profound, and it kind of sums up life. Learn like you are going to live forever. Live like you're going to die tomorrow. As in, life is very precious. It's made up of time, and we need to be able to master time in order to master ourselves. Yeah, we need to master ourselves and our relationship with time so we maximize the time that we have in this world, in this lifetime. And you don't want to look back at the end of life saying, I didn't do what I wanted to do. I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve. So when there's opportunity, you need to jump on it and go for it 100% full in. That's the way you achieve anything in life. And you're going to learn a bit about, when I mention Jane later on, that's exactly what she did. She started trading. She said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to succeed. And she did. Yeah, don't listen to anyone else who's going to tell you otherwise. Yes, they're going to tell you the number of people that fail. Yes, if you do it the wrong way, you're going to fail. Yes, that's correct. It's going to take you a very long time if you don't learn the right way. You may never get that. But if you do it the right way, you've got a much greater chance of succeeding. So let's go through this and see if what I'm going to share with you today kind of resonates with you, and you'll see how it actually works in the live market. I'm going to show you the live charts later on. Okay, so buckle up, focus, turn off all other distractions, and make sure the next 55 minutes that you're fully here with me. And even if you're watching the recording of this, be fully concentrated. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You're not going to get the most out of it. Be 100% in the moment to get the most out of this moment. It won't ever happen again. Once time goes, it doesn't come back. So your use of time, the fact that you're here now, I don't take that lightly, because you've decided to spend your precious time here. And I really hope that what I share with you will make an impact in your life and will get you on the right track and help you get your trading to a level that you want to get it to, and get the results that you want as quickly as possible. So here's the question. Why am I always wrong? Again, doesn't it feel like the market's out to get us? If we feel we're fighting with the market, whatever we do, we seem to be on the wrong side at the wrong time. We get in and we're always, the market goes against us. Why? I'm going to share with you why that happens. I'm going to teach you a little bit about professional chart reading that you won't find in a book. And again, we'll go supply demand. We'll go into the live markets and audience questions and answers. So let's go into the problem. Why am I always wrong? Now, I want to share with you this. Jane is a successful trader. Jane comes to every single one of these presentations that I do. And she's heard this before over the past 4 years, many times. Why does she do that? Because she might hear something in a different way that will help her understand something deeper and will help her progress on her journey to greater mastery of trading. She's already a consistently profitable trader. But we never want to stop learning in life. I always say the quote, life's like an elevator or an escalator that's going down. If you stand still, you're going down. So how do you stop going down? You need to be progressing. You need to be moving up. You need to be making progress every day. That's what makes us feel alive as human beings, that we're making progress and we make a difference, that we're making a difference in our lives. So keep learning. We just did a program with Jane. She's been trading 4 years. We have traders in the program that have been trading 35 years, and those successful traders. Why are they in the program? They learned something. I learned something. If you love learning, you'll learn from people who have that knowledge to help you. You have a love of learning. Learning never stops. So if a person who's been trading 4 years has valuable information that can help you progress, why not learn from them? Even if you've been trading 35 years or 20 years and you're also successful, because we want to get better. So how much more so someone who's not yet successful will be able to get themselves on track? If people already successful are coming and learning this and going back to basics and keep reminding themselves of the basics, because it helps them keep centered and focused and in the zone, in alignment with what they're doing. If that helps them get the performance that they need. Remember, trading is a peak performance activity. How much more so, as we said before, someone who doesn't have that level of experience and they're not yet successful should listen carefully, because one thing you may hear now in the next 50 minutes or so may change your whole life. Because if you want to succeed as a trader, you got to listen carefully to what I'm sharing with you. One idea could spark a change in you that will help you move forward to become the trader that you want to be. Okay, does that make sense, everyone? Just type a yes in the chat area if that makes sense. Okay, it's so important. Why do I spend my time doing this? Because I want to give back. I want to help other people become successful. That gives me a sense of purpose to know that if I look back at the end of my life, I didn't just do it for myself. I helped other people as well. And again, we're all in this world together. Why not help other people? I grew up on the principles of you can never lose out in life by helping someone else. Help someone else. It's a good thing to do, no matter what it may be in. So I like helping people. Okay, that's kind of it. Thanks, Arthur. Jim, I can't pronounce that name. Abhijit, I hope I pronounce it correctly. Ramanand and Jane. So Jane's saying everyone sees something different in the market. Always listen to others and open your eyes. Okay, you can learn from everyone. Okay, I learn from my kids. I learn a lot from my children. So if we're open to learning and growing, you learn from everyone. So how did I learn this? And why is it so important? Okay, so I started trading. Well, I started my trading career at Credit Suisse. But I left Credit Suisse and I actually started not on the trading floor. I started in the IT department, working in the business in product control and financial control. And a tactical IT department, we were like a special tactical development team or whatever. And I met someone in the gym who was working on the trading floor and he offered me a job. So I went to my boss and I said to him, what do you think? And, in the bank, working in the front office on the trading floor, that's where the money's made. Yeah, everything else is to support that. So he said, go for it. So I did. And long story short, I left Credit Suisse and then I worked for a number of prop firms. And the first firm that I worked for was the way that they traded was a specialist system. They were taught to look at what the specialist, the New York Stock Exchange specialist, was the ultimate day trader. And I was looking at what was going on the level 2, which are the bids and offers, and the specialist open book, which is their book of the bids and offers of the orders in the market, above and below price, the current price. And the prints that go off on the time and sales. The time and sales is every time a transaction happens, it's a buy and a sell. You'll see the time, you'll see the number of contracts, and that's it. Yeah, you'll see the time, number of contracts, and the price. So obviously, if you see 100 shares go off at a certain price, it was about someone bought and someone sold. You can't have more people buying than selling. Once the transactions happen, you can have more willing buyers and willing sellers in the market, which we're going to talk about soon. But once the transactions happen, if you have 10 units bought, 10 units must have been sold. You can't sell something if you can't sell more than you have. What you can short sell, but it means you borrowed the stock, for example, from someone else. So you can't sell something you don't have, and you can't buy something that's not being sold when the transactions actually happen. So basically, the system that I was taught to trade started working for me. I started being able, after a number of months, to be able to start being profitable with it. But the New York Stock Exchange went hybrid, part computer, part human. And the system that we were taught to trade no longer worked. So, it was back to the drawing board. And I went to a number of firms after that. The trading floor closed down. It was no longer profitable for whatever reason. And what we were taught to trade no longer worked. So, and we see that a lot in the world. It's called disruption, yeah? When some new technology comes and then the previous technology becomes extinct, and whatever the word is, not useful anymore. It goes out of business, so to say, like records and video cassettes and everything else like that, DVDs even. So it was back to the drawing board for me. And I decided then that I need to learn a way of trading that's going to stand the test of time. So the way I decided to trade was based on supply and demand, because supply and demand, as we're going to go through shortly, will never change. Okay? You never have to learn anything else. Once you master this, you don't need to learn anything else. If you master something that is, just going to work for the next few years, and then something's going to change in the world, and then you're going to need to learn something else, well, you get to a level of mastery, but then what? Well, you're going to have to relearn and start again. You don't want to be in that situation. That makes sense? So here's why I'm always wrong. And this is maybe me as a beginning trader, and maybe you can relate. So the market's going up, and you identify an uptrend. However you were taught to identify uptrend, maybe using moving averages, maybe just looking at the chart and seeing prices going up. And then you take your first buy over here. And then what happens is the market goes in your favor, and then it starts to turn to the downside, and you're thinking, uh-oh, I was up over here, and you're looking at the screen as it starts to move down, and oh dear, and then when you can't take it anymore, you pull the trigger and you get out, and you take your first losing trade. Now what happens to most people is I want to get that money back from the market. We're in revenge mode now. So you double up your size here, and you say, well, if I lost all this, I only needed to go half the way down, and I'll make it back, and I'll get out of break even. So you take your second trade on the short side, you think, I got the direction wrong. It's going down, of course. What's going on here, Of course it's going down. You double up, and the market starts to move in your favor, and you're looking at your P&L on the screen, your profit and loss, and you're like, that's great. Minus 1,000, minus 900, minus 800, minus 700, and all of a sudden it's minus 800, minus 900, minus 1,000, and you end up being down another $2,000 because the market doesn't continue down. It turns and you get out over here. Now you're thinking, oh dear, what do I do now? I'm down maybe $3,000 now on my $10,000 account, and this is not looking good. So what do I do now? Well, guess what? I've got to make that money back. I'm in revenge mode, so I take an even bigger position on the buy side, saying the market's going up. And all of a sudden it goes up, and then, oh dear, we go all the way back down again. I thought it was an uptrend. Then it changed to a downtrend. Oh dear. And you take your third losing trade. Now you're thinking, okay, uptrends, downtrends. I learned something about support and resistance. Let's join the peaks and the troughs. Let's join the highs and lows. Up here, I shouldn't be buying, it goes down. Yeah. Down here, I should be buying, it goes up. So what do you think I'm going to do when price comes here? I'm going to go all out and try and make all the money back because I figured the market out. I'm going to sell. And you're thinking, the market's going down. And what does the market do? This time, it doesn't do what you want. It goes up. And you take your fourth losing trade and you wipe your account out. And you throw your arms in the air and you're like, what's going on here? I'm always on the wrong side of the market. What is going on? If I go with the trend, it goes against me. If I go with support and resistance, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Nothing works. You throw your hands up. Yeah, can you relate? Does this speak to any of you? Just type a yes in the room if this speaks to you. Or if it did. This was mostly every beginning trader's like this. At the beginning. And guess what? It's very hard to trade like this. Some of you use indicators, and I can tell you a whole story about indicators maybe another time. But you put so many indicators on your chart, and you try and take an average and say, if the majority say, up, I'll go up, and the majority, say down, I'll go down, and that doesn't work either. And you're like, well, what does work? I can't seem to get anything working. Yeah, to be honest with you, that's what happens. So what do you need to learn about? You need to learn about supply and demand. Supply up here and demand. You need to know where imbalances are in the market, where there's unfilled orders. And you need to understand the odds. When's the market going to turn at a level, and when's it going to break through the level? Okay. So that's the story of what I'm going to share with you now. And basically, as you see with most things in life, once you've mastered it, it's very simple. Take a musician. Once they've, a pianist, my son plays piano, many, many years of practice. But once you've mastered it, you can play beautifully. It looks so effortless. That's how it's going to be when you finally practice the right way and get to a level of mastery with trading. It's easy. It's not simple, but it's easy. Or it's simple but not easy, whichever way you want to talk it. Whatever the saying is, I think maybe it's simple but not easy. Yeah, it is simple. Price can only move up or down. We make it complicated. We try to, overcomplicate things. Keep it simple, and then it'll be simple. Yeah, price is moving up and down. You need to know whether it's going to turn here or break through. You need to know what the odds are. You don't know something's going to be 100% until it's happened, and that's too late. You need to learn how to make decisions as the market's playing out. So how do you do that? So here's a framework that I started using many, many years ago that gave me the ability to read any market. Now, again, this is objective. And the difference between subjective and objective is experience. If you're not experienced at doing something, then it seems to be more subjective. But once you get a number of people who I've trained, for example, and they go through a chart and they can find the same levels of supply and demand, for example, and they understand what the trend is, and they'll do it exactly the same. That's where it gets objective. Once you've mastered it, it's objective. If you've not yet mastered it, it's more subjective. That makes sense? Okay, so these are the things that you need. You need to understand pivot analysis. That's our way of reading the trend. Okay, that's not trader floor pivots or anything like that. This is actually looking at the candlesticks and understanding where the pivots are, pivot highs and pivot lows within the Japanese candlesticks. Then you need to understand supply and demand. That's where the market moves from and to. If you know where price is in relation to supply and demand, then you know what you should be doing. For example, if price goes down to demand, then it may bounce. For example, it may go up, depending on what trend it's in as well. You need to understand price direction. Which direction is price currently moving? Is it going up or going down? Isn't that a simple question? If you get into a lift and there's an arrow pointing up, which way is the lift going? It's going up. If you want to go down, you're not going to get in. So wouldn't that be a good way of looking at the market? And again, understanding this can pretty much replace everything you know about Japanese candlesticks. Most of it, probably about 80% of it, with one simple approach, simple way of looking at the candlesticks and understanding, is price going up or down? That's what you ask. It's either yes or no. It's either going up or going down. That's it. And then being able to do this on multiple time frames. So this is the big thing that you need to understand. And this is my understanding here. And this is a big game changer for many people. The charts are going to teach you everything you need to know once you have a framework for reading them. You no longer need anyone else. You need to learn how to read the charts, but then you need to develop your own approach once you read the charts. What do you see happening in the market on a regular basis? Does it happen? How many times does it happen when this and this and this happen? When price is in demand in an uptrend, does it go up or down? Where would it go up to? You need to know these questions. Where am I going to put my stop? If I'm wrong, where do I need to get out? That's what a stop's for. A stop's not to stop you losing money, because if you put it in the wrong place, you will lose money, and the market will carry on going on after it stopped you out to the target and you're no longer in. So the stop, what did it do? It caused you to lose money. It didn't stop you losing money. It caused you to lose money and stopped you making money in that case. So people think, oh, stops us to stop me losing money. No, position sizing and correct stop placement, yes, will get you out of the trade if it's no longer valid. But you need to know where to put that stop. You put it in the wrong place, you're going to get stopped out all the time. And then the market may still work. You may be right on your analysis that the market's going up, but wrong where you place your stop. So therefore you end up with a losing trade, but you were right on what happened. That's so frustrating. So let's have a look at back to basics. Now everyone knows, I'm assuming everyone knows, it's hammer and the shooting star. Now if I ask you this question, is this candlestick bullish or bearish? Type it in the chat area. Bullish or bearish? Is candlestick bullish or bearish? Now let's have a look at an example. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th bar up, you get a bar like this. Is that bearish? Should we be going down now? Is that a bearish bar? Again, I asked this question to a whole group of traders in the New York Traders Expo, and I'll tell you what they say soon once you answer. So let me see if I've got a poll. I don't have a poll for that, but just type it, yes or no, bullish or bearish. Just type in the chat area, yes if it's bearish, no if it's bullish. That's partly right, Natalie. Depends on where it's located. We've got bearish, we've got bullish. So you see, we have differences of opinion. Now, if I were to ask my traders that are trained, they'll only tell me one thing. So let's have a look and see what happens. So the market continues to move higher. And guess what? Is this a bullish or bearish bar? Well, guess what? In this scenario, this is a bullish bar. It's a bullish bar. Look what happened. Price went up. And guess what? When most people see this bar, it's not a bearish bar, it's bullish. Most people think down. This is a trade we actually took in our trading room over here, and we played this to the upside. Because guess what? How do you have an edge in the market? By knowing something better than anyone else. We know when we see this is a bullish bar in this scenario. And I'm going to explain why based on the framework that we just talked about at the beginning. So let's look at those 3 things. And again, we're talking about one time frame, it's the hourly chart. So in terms of trend, is the trend moving up or down? Well, it's moving up. It's a higher low here. We're moving up. Higher high. Moving up. Okay, so in terms of trend, we're going up. In terms of price direction, we're moving up without going into the details. Again, that's that's beyond the scope of this, but understand price turned to the upside here and it's moving to the upside. So we're pointing to the upside over here on this candle. So the elevator's going up. The lift is going up. The arrow is pointing up. Now, so we've got 2 reasons why we want to be on the buy side. Let's take the third one, supply and demand. Where are we in relation to supply and demand? Well, if you look, these are zones. This is supply, this is supply. Look what happened when the market hit this level. It dropped and then carried on because we're uptrending. Yep. Now we went sideways here. We consolidated, and that's another understanding that you need to understand. When's the market going to go sideways? So I'm hoping to put out this year training, which I said I was going to do before. I've been working on it for about 7 years now, and all in all, over 16 years since I started trading, really mastering bases. When is the market going to go into a base before it goes into a base? I'm going to show you later on in this presentation, the live market, a base and what happened. And we said that the base on the dollar was going to break to the downside today, most likely. And it did. And I'll show you. Okay, so this is bullish. Why? Because we cleared above supply and the next supply zone's here. This is just consolidation, going sideways. This is the next supply zone, which we dropped, and then another one here. Yeah. So in a bullish market, this bar cleared above supply. So why should you sell? There's no supply. Markets will only go down if there's more supply than demand. I'm going to share that with you shortly. It can't go down if there's more demand than supply, or they're in equilibrium. So if we look at this objectively now, based on our understanding of supply, demand, price direction, and pivot analysis, there's no reason to sell and every reason to buy. So the odds are it's going higher. That's all you need to know. So you don't want to be on the sell side here. Not now, not ever in this scenario. Now, will it sometimes go down? Of course it will. But most of the time it's going to go up. That's what you need to know. You need to have that level of clarity of reading a chart. Then once you've got that, you can develop a strategy for yourself. And you need to understand how to manage risk and how to position size, which is how do you manage risk? Where are you going to put your stop? How are you going to manage the trade? Many other things that you need to learn how to do. So let's move on to supply and demand, and then I'm going to jump into the live market. So supply and demand, what is supply and demand? Very briefly. Prices will always move higher when demand is greater than supply. Prices will move lower when supply is greater than demand, and they'll go sideways when supply and demand are in equilibrium. So what moves markets? Well, you could say the news moves markets, but if good news comes out and the market's closed, the market is not going to move. So what does move the markets? Guess what? Supply and demand. What causes imbalances of supply and demand? It does not matter. Unless you're a fundamental trader And I'll show you, if you look at the news, sometimes good news, the market goes down. Good news, the market goes up. Sometimes bad news, the market goes up, and bad news, the market goes down. I don't know. I tried to master that. I spent 3 years looking at news reports and whatever. That's how I started to trade as well. Looking at earnings reports, news reports, balance sheets, all those fundamental things. And guess what? It didn't work for me. I couldn't figure out when the market was going to go up or down based on that. But I can figure out when the market's going to go up or down based on price action, based on what's happening on the chart. The reason behind it, who cares? Do I need to know why the market's going up? If it's going up, I'm buying on pullbacks. I'm buying, pullbacks to an area where I can manage risk. Do I need to know why? Knowing the news was bad, and would that make any difference? Maybe it would make it even better on a buy side. Because if the market's ignoring the news, or maybe there's other news that you're not privy to and you've got no idea why it's going on. Maybe there's other news that hasn't been released yet. I don't know, but I do know something. When I'm looking at the chart, I've got access to everything I need to make a decision. Price. Don't need anything else. And guess what? Remember what I said before? I had to relearn. You have to, if technology changes, you're going to have to learn a new profession or find a different way of doing it. You don't want to ever be in that situation, do you? You want to keep learning, a different way of doing something every few years when technology changes. No. So guess what? Supply and demand will never change. It's been round since the beginning of time, and it will be round until the end of time. So if you're based your trading on these foundations of supply and demand, guess what? You're never going to have to learn anything else. Isn't that good? And the more years you go on, the more masterful you will get at it. You will get better and better. So long as you do it the right way. So your job now is to identify supply and demand on the chart. So what does supply and demand very basically look like? So we're looking for turning points in the market where the market goes one direction to the other direction. Now, not every time it turns is significant. We talk about significant levels of supply and demand, significant pivots, significant turns. So we need to identify where the market moves up from, because most likely the market will come back here again at some point and bounce again. And likewise, we need to understand areas of supply. And we need to understand also, when you get deeper into understanding supply and demand, what are the odds? Every time the price comes to the area, is it going to break through or is it going to turn? So I want to show you a quick chart of gold. And this is from way back when. Now we see these patterns all the time, just to show you price structure here. So here's gold moving up from the bottom of a base on the monthly chart. And I'll show you the gold chart now, what's happening, and you'll understand this. So when you see this, a bar like this, you see this on the 4-hour chart, that's a reversal bar. So you can buy a pullback into this bar. And you can see if you're coming from the bottom from demand on the monthly chart, you're going up to supply up here. That's what the odds are. So when you hit levels on the way, it pushes you down, but you continue moving higher. And this is how you can enter it. And you look at the price of gold, we're talking about entering around, the 1200 area. Yeah, 1200 area. Now, let's take a look at what happened here. This is from the bottom, the market moved all the way to the top, from 1200 to 1350. You see that, to the top of the base. This was down here, and this is a bit later on, a number of weeks on, when we moved up here. Look at that, bigger time frame, we moved up here. You see that? Now, notice what I put here, weak supply. So I remember saying in my trading room that if the market comes down, this is understanding bases again, from here, it's not going down all the way to the bottom. It's probably going to come down part way, turn, and then break above the top. Let's go now to a gold chart and see what happened. This is the chart. This is live market right now. Okay. Now, let's go back to that time, which was here. Okay. This was the bottom of the base. Here's the top. Now, what did I say when the market comes here? I said weak supply. We're not going down to the bottom. It's probably going to go down and turn. Wouldn't you want to be in some of these trades? These are long-term trades. Look at where we went from here. And if you got in here, it was the first entry in our trading room. This was a long-term trade around the 1200 mark, and then another one here, and then we rode it all the way up. And now we've been in this sideways consolidation for quite some time, okay, which we And here was also a short. Understanding where those levels are, understanding this is demand. Look at what happened. We dropped down, we didn't go down. Wouldn't that be a good idea to buy right down here and then trade this up? Wouldn't it be a good idea to buy down here and trade it to the top? Wouldn't it be good to understand when this level is going to break, like here? Okay. So your job as a trader is to identify high probability turning points in the market. Okay, so what I'm going to do is reveal a little bit of that to you. Again, it's beyond the scope of this, but I've given you the framework: supply, demand, price direction, and the pivot analysis. If you can learn how to do that and put it into practice the right way, you can read any market. It doesn't matter what it is. People always ask me, oh, this is for Forex, or this is for futures, this is for everything. I was an equity trader at the beginning. I moved markets to the Forex market and futures markets. But I was started out as a New York Stock Exchange equity trader. I was a member of the Philadelphia Stock Exchange and New York Stock Exchange, but that's where I started out. You can trade any market. Once you know how to read a market, you can trade any market. Every market's got different nuances. So Jane, for example, who just gave the training on how to trade the NASDAQ, her speciality is trading the NASDAQ the first half an hour at the open, at the cash open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time for half an hour. And the trades that she did, sometimes she's done in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And she's done. She works full time, and in between work, she takes a little break and she trades. She's mastered that because her lifestyle dictated that I need to find something that's quick, because I like something that fits me, that's fast and furious. That's trading the NASDAQ at the open. It's fast and furious. That I can be done with quickly and get back to work. That was it. That was the market for her. Use the same principles of supply and demand. Understand how to read the market. Develop a trading plan for you. See what happens every single day. Watch it. Learn its every move. Understand the nuances. And then trade it. And practice and practice and practice. If it doesn't work out, go and figure out why. Get better every single time until you've mastered it. That's the only way. What do most people do when they have a losing trade? They throw their hands up in the air. They go, they feel depressed. They go home or whatever. That's what, if you're working on a trading floor, you go home, you're not in a good mood. You try to forget about it and you go back the next day trying to start and do something different without learning the lessons of what you did wrong. And you do the same thing again and again and again until you blow out and then you give up. That's not the way to do it. That's not the way to master anything. But that's what most people do. Yeah, that's not the way to do it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the live markets, okay? I'm going to show you, and I'll open up for questions and answers at the end, okay? So we looked at gold already, and you can see, again, the levels. You need to understand we've got levels in the market. You can see here. We go on the monthly chart. Why did price stop here? Because there's a level of demand here that produced this move from here up. So I know ahead of time, before price came, again, these levels are here before. You can see there's a level here. Price is not down here yet. Price came down here. It's bouncing between these levels. This is a level because price dropped. You see there's a pivot here. We came down. We failed to make a new high and the trend changed here. So we're bouncing sideways on the bigger time frame. We go down to the smaller time frames. We go on the daily. Look at this level. So when price came down here a few days ago, where did it stop? Bang on here. And where did it turn to? Up. See that? Where could it go if it breaks above here? Up here. You see that? Depends what time frame you trade, but you need to understand how this works. Look at this supply area. You see, we got a pullback, but it didn't go all the way down. It went down. There's actually a demand level sitting over here. This is a demand level. Look where it stopped. That produced this move up. So when price comes down here, remember, it's not against the trend over here, at least this little trend, but the bigger picture is going up. And again, we get another consolidation and then another move up. And look where we're going. Now, let's look at a few other markets. And I'll go through, this is the base. We said today in our trading room, again, if you join the training that I'm going to share with you at the end, the program, you'll get access to the recording. You'll get access to the trading room for a whole month. And you'll get access to this recording. Go and join and watch this. It's invaluable. Just this alone, just this today's session can change your trading if you understand how to trade this. And we do know how to trade this. We said the price is going down to the 95 area. Where did it get to today? 94, 98. Is that pretty much? I mean, that's 95 as far as I'm concerned. It's got a bit lower. That's fine. We said do not try buy. Once it breaks this level, don't buy it. It's going down. It just went, it went out a big drop and then it went straight down. It's a 5-minute chart. Where's it going to? Well, to demand. We're in demand now. Here, we're going down here. And we're going to see what happens when the market gets down there. But how do we know it's going down? Well, if you understand the base, and I'll just share this with you. Look at the top. This is the top of the base. This is the bottom of the base. Notice what's happening when the price is moving off from the bottom here. It's not going back to the top. The top's coming down. So I know it's going to break below. And I know a few other things, like the direction's pointing down, and this is a weak demand area. It's going to break, and it did. So when it's down here, well, there you go. That's a trade. Knowing how to do that, knowing you should be on the short side, and then how do you get into the trade? Well, you could wait for it to break this level, or you could short it here at the open, the US Open of the Forex market at 8 a.m. Eastern time here, with a stop above here. If it was to go above here, it would go up. You say it could have gone above here and run up first, but it didn't. It went down below, and then you're on the short side. Notice when it hits demand, it bounces back to supply. It just broke, and then it comes down again and down. And it went all the way through these levels. These are smaller time frame levels. The move's coming from a bigger time frame. It's actually coming from the monthly and weekly charts. So we're going to go down to monthly levels, okay? Understanding. Notice where the price stopped. We know that ahead of time, okay? Let's look at the pound. Look how these levels work. Where do you think price is going? We said today it's going up here to this level. Where is it going? You see that? You see where it stopped on the downside? There's a level here. How do I pick these levels? Well, the market, once you get good at this, the market shows you where these levels are. You see, let's go to this level on the weekly chart. Why here? Because this is where price stopped. You see, you get this big bar down and it reversed and went up. Why is the stop here? Look at these 3 bars, 3 solid bars down. That's supply. Why is it stopped? Stopped dead in its tracks twice, 3 times, yeah? Come down. Why is it stopping here? This is demand. This level's not here after it's moved up. This level's here before it even gets here. This level's here before it even gets here. This was one trade that we took a swing trade on the pound from here down. We said it's making, it's going down. So this move up is not likely to go above this area. If it turns here, we'll short it and we'll take it down. It's a weekly chart, a longer term trade. And you can see how the market turns here. And you see how we hit these levels. Hit the level, pull back. Hit the level again, pull back. It's going to break it this time. Break, where's it going? Next level, we've got something here, but I haven't got lines around here. This is where we're going, up here. That's what the odds are. If it doesn't happen, it means something else is happening. You go with the odds. Isn't that a good idea? Go with what the market's telling you. Trade what you see happening. Not what you think should happen. Trade what is happening. And again, we do this ahead of time. Like today, we said be on the long side, and especially the one that we were long side bias at the beginning was the euro, the Australian dollar, because everything was pointing up. So this was a long here on a pullback, and you see we went all the way up to supply. You see this? Look where we are on the daily chart. From demand, it went to supply, down to demand. This is, look at the levels, look at the bars here. This is how you pick the levels. You want to know where price made significant moves up or down from and to. Here, this is a significant move up. So when price comes back down here again, watch what happens. Isn't it a good idea to buy here and sell here, or sell here and buy here? And go with the trend, put it all together so you know what you should be doing, which side of the market you should be on. How many people, a strategy alone is never going to get you very far, because the strategy could give you an entry, but you're on the wrong side of the market. It could give you an I'm going to sell supply. Yeah. I'm going to sell here, but you're on the wrong side of the market. It's not going to work. It's going to break it. You don't want to be selling, you don't want to be selling this one here. Maybe this one for a little scalp trade, but it's better to wait for a buy in this scenario. Yeah. And you can see what happened. You see how we bounce between this level, but the market's moving up. We came all the way up above this level this time, and we're into the next level up, which is here. And it's probably going to break that as well. So understanding where those level, that's supply and demand. Now let's look at one more market. Let's actually look at Bitcoin. There's another market that we actually said today is a buy. Why is it buy today? Buy today because it hit demand. And we changed directions. Yeah, over here we said it's a sell. It's going down to the 40 level, 40,000. That's what it did. This is not a bad area to buy because this is where we went up. See this? This is how this market works. Every market works the same. Supply and demand. Doesn't matter whether it's Bitcoin or the E-minis or the dollar or a stock. Makes no difference. Same thing. So let me just show you. Let's pick up any stock. Let's pick Tesla. Don't have any zones on Tesla. And if we go on to, let's just pull up an hourly chart. And if we just look at areas where the market, where the market is now, if it breaks above here, for example, which it already did. So what are the odds? The odds are it could go higher. Where to? You want to find the area of supply above price. So we have a level actually here, which is why we're stopping, but we could mark it from the top. So this is where it could go. There's a level here, and there's a level at the top here. This is kind of a base. We also have a level here, which is why we're stopping. This is where, you see, we broke down. Again, there's zones, yeah? And understanding that, you see, when the market broke here, it's going down, yeah? So understanding where those levels are, and understanding that this level, you see there was a level here that went down, why it was likely to break today, and we did. Okay, let's pick up E-minis. Okay, same thing here. Look at these levels on the hourly chart. Look at where we stopped on Monday. Look at where we stopped on Tuesday. Look at where we got to. You see these zones they're from way back. They're from way to the left. Why? You know those levels ahead of time. This is where you want to trade from until you want to trade from here up to here. You want to buy here. You want to buy the pullbacks. Take it up. You could sell this as well if you wanted, but down here, look at the levels. Look how they work. Look at this level. Why here? Because this was the level that took us down, and then we broke above, and then we broke down again. It's a supply level. See that? It's a significant level here. Why this level? Because this is where we had this big move up from. We stopped here. So here we broke below and broke above. When we come back again, it becomes demand again. Look how accurate this is. Look how accurate this is. You think you could take trades of this today on the short side? Yeah, sure. Take this down. To where? Well, guess what? This is demand. If I want to draw the bottom of it, that's demand, the bottom of here. That's where it stopped and bounced up. You think you could take a trade off there? Once you know where those levels are, okay? So what I want to do now is just share with you, and I've shared very briefly with you Jane. Jane's here now, and she just finished, as I said before, a six days or 6 session training over 6 days. We did 3 sessions on teaching how she trades the Nasdaq at the open, and then 3 live sessions where she traded and didn't. All trades that she took live were winning trades. Jane, as I said earlier, went from beginner to consistent profits in 3 months. Now I want to share with you what she said. This is what she wrote way back when, a few years ago, at the beginning when she started to get consistent. And again, she didn't. I was the first one to really train her about supply and demand. Now, it's what she says. Now, I'm not reading this just because it's good to read. Listen to what she says and learn from what she says, because she's got it spot on. Exactly what you need to be successful is written right in front of your eyes right now. So if you want, take a screenshot and read through it, what you need to do. So all I can say to anyone who wants to consistently profit, just do it. That's the famous Nike saying. One of my trading mentors used to say, Nike says it's best, just do it. You want to be a successful trader? Just do it. Go for it. Decide what you want to do and go for it. If you fail at the beginning, so what? Get up, learn from it and move on. Keep growing. You fail your way to success as a trader. You need to get yourself up when you fall down and go back up. Every setback is a way how you can learn what not to do so you can improve. How do you think we all learn? Does a child not fall over before they start to walk? And we don't say, oh, the child falls over 20 times. That child's never going to walk. Of course the child's going to walk. The child never gives up until they walk. If you look around in the world, how many children, everyone walks, pretty much. Most healthy children, yeah? They walk. We don't turn around to our children and say, you fooled up, give up. No. So why do the same to yourself? Why do we look at ourselves? What's wrong with failure? Failure is a stepping stone to success. So guess what? Just do it. That training turned my whole trading around, and also a whole life around as well. From that day on, my trading has been so consistent, it's really mind-blowing. Once you understand the levels and can read the trend, you will beat the market every single day. And we just had a whole group of people witness Jane trade live with a real account, and be successful at the open. And was done pretty quickly every day. The past 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today. However, the key is follow the pivot analysis, use the demand and supply levels and adapt it to your own trading style. Be very disciplined, don't be greedy. Stop when you've made your daily profit and you will turn losing trades into winning consistently day in, day out. Simon's training can be adapted to any market. I mainly trade the NQ and CL, which he did then. I use my own strategy based on Simon's education. I found the best thing was knowing what you are doing gives you confidence in your trades and the fear of losing was gone. Trading had become a lifestyle, no longer a binary gamble or a nervous hope job. Believe me, it's the best and only training to succeed with. So the best investment you can make in life is in yourself. As Jim Rohn said, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. But guess what? Knowledge by itself is not going to help. You've got to let your knowledge lead to action. You need to take action. If you're inspired by this, take action. Go and invest in yourself. Do something. Take a course. Learn it. Put it into practice. Be curious. Investigate it. Try it out. Did it work for you? Come and learn from people that are already successful at it. And find your own way of being successful at it. So now you've seen a simple and powerful approach to reading the market, to reading any market. Again, it could be futures, it could be Forex, it could be cryptos, it could be anything. It could be for long term, for short term. It doesn't matter, the chart's a chart. Whether you're looking at a monthly chart or a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart. If I would put up a chart and take the time off it, you wouldn't know what time. They all look the same. They've all got candles on them, if you're looking at candlestick charts. So take it a step further. Actually, take your first step and learn how to read the trend using pivot analysis. That's price action alone. No indicators, no moving averages, no nothing, just the price charts. Just those candlestick charts. You don't need anything else. And what are the benefits of knowing how to read the trend? Trade in the direction of the trend. The trend is your friend until the bend in the end. That's what, the bend in the end is where it reaches supply and demand zones. That's where the trend ends. Or when it gets to new highs and the trend changes. That could also be because there's no more, if the price is rocketing to the upside, there's no more demand up there. Think about it, you run out of oxygen at some point, it has to drop down. Because there's no more buying pressure and people start selling, so the selling pressure overcomes the buying pressure and prices drop because there's more supply than demand at high levels. You'll know when the trend begins and know when the trend ends. And again, imagine if you could understand where those levels of supply and demand are and just wait for the trend to change in those areas. The downtrend ended in demand. What does that mean price is going to do next? Probably go up. It wasn't a downtrend going down, 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 down. The downtrend just stopped. Where am I? In demand. Ooh, I can manage my risk. I can put it below the demand. Where can it go to? The supply level above. What do I have on my side? The trend just changed. And guess what? Make sure you're never fighting the trend. Wait for it to change. If you want more confirmation, wait for the trend to change. It takes time. On the smaller time frames, it goes quicker. On the longer time frames, it takes time. You can anticipate ahead of time and expect what to happen and wait for it to happen and then trade. That way, you're not chasing the market. You're waiting for the market to come to you on your terms and conditions. You know what the odds are. If you trade on the market's terms and conditions, you will lose consistently. And that's what most of you are probably doing. But if you have a plan and you have a positive expectancy and you've tried and tested your way of trading and you know what the odds are, then guess what? You just need to wait till the market shows you your edge and then you trade and do it consistently. You will make money. Guaranteed, if you have a positive expectancy and you follow your plan, you will make money. To have that clarity when you're trading. When you're trading, you don't know you're going to make money. How on earth are you going to trade like that with confidence? and make sure you're on the right side of the market, you'll be able to develop a profitable trading strategy or enhance an existing trading strategy. So join my How to Read the Trend training session and trading room. And this is what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to identify the current trend of the market, to analyze the trend in multiple time frames, exactly when a trend begins and ends, and how this knowledge will dramatically affect your bottom line. And you'll be able to watch us analyze and trade the markets live every day, real time, in our live trading room. Now, here's what people are saying. Francesca. When I first watched How to Read the Trend module, I must admit that I did not appreciate the power of pivots and their interrelationship with supply and demand. Honestly, I thought it was more of a good education module for beginners, talking about what a candle is. And of course, I was smart enough to be able to read the trend already. Now, after having been a few days in the live trading room and seeing some pretty uncanny results, something clicked. I decided to rewatch the first education module. Now I can see that it is really a lot more powerful than it first appeared to be. And it's quite deep. Sometimes we don't see what's right in front of our noses, as the old saying goes. I would say now that I know things about reading the trend that I did not have a clue about before doing your first module. The first thing I'm thinking is, why didn't I do this 25 years ago when I started? Johan. As a new trader, I jumped from one strategy to another, always looking for the magic sauce. I literally spent thousands of hours in various forums, blew up numerous accounts, and bought tons of online courses. After a while, I realized that most of this material is produced by people like myself, wannabes without experience, who want to survive the learning curve or learning how to trade for real. Yeah. What struck me when I came across TradeSmartForex.com and Simon's material was his true understanding of price action. He managed to condense all of this vague and ambiguous information to a few clear and fundamental set of rules and principles. I have to date probably seen his material a dozen times, and I always discover new details that are key in my now profitable trading plan. When people ask me for advice, I often say that Simon and TradeSmartForex.com offers everything you need, nothing more, nothing less. And I'm sure that his genuine interest in you as a trader will enable you to reach your goal far more quickly than most other alternatives. Tom, I wanted to say that what you teach in How to Read the Trend training course is brilliant. Before that, I picked up bits and pieces from your different traders, but it was never joined up. Your course brought it all together in a very structured and algorithmic way. No guessing needed. The facts jump off the chart. Matt, the trading room is very helpful in understanding how to go through the process. I've been trading for 11 years and I have not seen anything like what you do. Love how simple it is. I mainly trade options with trades that last 30 to 60 days. I've been looking for something I could use to day trade for 2 years now. I want to round out what I'm doing with another source of profits. I have not been able to find anything I could execute consistently. I'm just paper trading with your system. I've been doing it for a couple of weeks now and I've had far better results than anything I've ever tried. Marcus, Simon's probably one of the best coaches out there with a heartfelt passion for coaching and a real understanding of how the market works. He helps you view everything in a new way. The way he teaches is also really good. He goes through it until you understand. I can honestly say that I've gotten more out of this training than I expected. So this is what you get. It's about an hour and a half. Again, time. You don't want to spend hours and hours and hours learning the basics. An hour and a half. That's it. You can watch it as many times as you want. It's on demand. And you get access to me. You can ask me questions. And more importantly, you're going to get access to the live trading room, which is usually a subscription. It's $497 a month. That's the real price of it. People are paying that. Why would they pay that? Because they get more value than the cost of it. Why else would you pay for something? If you don't get value from it, you wouldn't pay for it, would you? Remember, this is an interesting concept. When I was younger, you used to think like, you want to use time to save yourself money, yeah? So you go shopping around and use your time to try and save yourself a bit of money. But you realize as you get older and wiser that wouldn't it be good to spend money to save yourself time? Because guess what? Time's a limited resource. Money isn't. Money comes and goes. Time goes and never comes back. This moment that you're here with me will never happen again. Once the time's gone, January 2022 is finished. That's the end. It won't happen again. Time moves on. You've got to make the most use of your time. So isn't it a good idea, instead of investing hours and hours and hours of trying to figure it out yourself, you learn from someone who has figured it out so that you can actually get that knowledge that you need quicker. And instead of going through that whole For me, 16 years, 17 years to get to this level of mastery, it could take you 3 months. Do it quicker. Do you want to invest all that time? Think about the opportunity cost. How much is that? What could you do with all that extra time you have? Isn't that worth $497 a month? And plus, you're going to get trading ideas in it. I'm just saying, yeah? But again, you're going to get this for free for 1 month, yeah? So you're going to get access, and also access to our online trading community. You can join. We've got traders in there that have been trading 35 years, 20 years, 10 years, and 1 year. And everyone in the community wants to help everyone else. Some people are experts in options, and some people are experts in many different markets. We have a trader that traded the S&P before there was an E-mini, full contract sizes, you know, when there wasn't an E-minis. He traded the S&P, you know, however many years ago that was, 30-something years ago. So you get access to the trading community. You can speak with them and communicate with them you can speak to them on camera if you want and communicate and, you know, video conference, or you can type, whatever you want. This is to show you our community here. And again, it's kind of evolved, and it is evolving. So we have different, you know, we have premium areas for people that are members, and we share a lot of information in here. So again, you can have a look if people put out their trade plans before time, you know, Jane may do that, and you know, Olivia as well is an expert on trades on Ninja Trader, for example. So we have people that are using Ninja Trader and they have questions, so they ask Olivia. So again, it's a community of people helping each other. You're not alone. So join now. The regular price is $894. That's $497 plus $397. Yeah. Deadline's 2 days from now. And you're going to receive $497 off, which is 1 month in the live trading room. So all you need to do is pay $397 and you get access to everything. So what I'm going to do is put up the, let me put the offer up in the side. So if you're watching, if you're here live, I'm going to start the offer. You'll see it pop up on the right. If you're watching a recording, there's a button to click below, or you may even get on the right hand side. So click it, and I'm going to show you how to go through this. And you can always go to this link as well, tradesmartforex4.com/promo. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like and what you're going to come to. Okay, it's my website over here. So the member, if you come to my website, tradesmartforex.com, you can just click here to go to the membership site. But when you come to the checkout, to the actual sales page over here, this is what it is. So you can go through and read it and what you get in this training. And then you just click on buy now or over here, one of the buttons, and it brings you to the checkout. Okay, you fill out your details, and you have to click over here, your agreement. So click there, and then you get that submit payment, put all your details in, and you can see over here it says $497 monthly, but today you pay $397. You won't be billed again until a month's time, but you can cancel anytime, even immediately. Okay, it's entirely up to you. You know, but you may find super value in it and want to stay in, like many people do, you know. So again, don't think you'd have to make that decision now. You've got a whole month, but today you pay $397. You get the whole $497 in the trading room for free, and the Discord. So fill out all that, and then you get access. Basically, when you click on the members over here, you bring, and you can see our new training over here is trading NQ at the US Open. We finished that now. And we have the recordings in the membership site over here. So everything to do with the how to read the trend is here in education and training. The trading room's here. And we also have a peak performance mastermind program, but that's for another time. Okay, so if you click on here, it brings you to this area, and you won't get access to all this. This is the whole training, but how to read the trend is session 1 and a standalone training of how to read the market professionally. So you click on here, and this is what you'll see. You get access to this. Okay, and the trading room, which includes the weekly preparation session, which is our sessions at the beginning of the week where we set our zones on the market and we have a plan. What I said on the weekly preparation session is, watch out this week, the dollar is likely to break below the base. You can go and watch it. If you click on here, you can watch this. This is from, if you go here, this is from January the 9th. You'll see what we said. Then come over here to the session that was recorded today and watch what happened. This is today's session. Okay, this is me over here. This is January the 12th. This is today. Yeah, January the 12th. 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. You'll see what happened. You'll see what the market did during our session. Go and watch it. Go and watch both immediately. Sit. You'll enjoy it. Go through the training and then go and watch these videos. And you'll see the live trading room access is over here. You'll see I haven't actually updated the schedule, but this needs to be updated for this week. And you register and you come and join the live room in real time. If you can't make it live, watch the recordings. I have people that are subscribed that just watch the recordings. And that's what they get value out of. So that's basically it. So if you join now, how to read the trend, $397. Okay. 1 month in the live trading room is $497. That's a total of $894. And today you pay just $397. It should say that over there, but it doesn't. So, okay. Thanks a lot, everyone, for your time. And I look forward to seeing those of you who are joining in the live trading room.